Folks, hello, DJ here. Before we get started on today's episode, which is going to be a recap of Neil's on-site experience at Bethpage Black for the Ryder Cup last week, listen, just a quick language warning up front. This is for all of those people, dropping the kids off at school, maybe listening in the car. There's going to be a lot of language in here that, while we're never a totally clean Puritan podcast ourselves, there's going to be some language in here. There's going to be some F-bombs and there's going to be some other stuff. And I hope it goes without saying, we don't condone everything that's in the episode, but the point of this episode is to make it feel like you're on the ground, to represent what it was like to be in the crowds. And so it's kind of important to just play that stuff as it occurred. And so just wanted to give a quick heads up to anybody listening in any kind of public space before we get started. But without further ado, here we go.
Be the right club. Be the right club today.
Johnny, that's better than most. How about in? That is better than most. Better than most.
Expect anything different?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up podcast. We got an interesting, provocative, thrilling episode for you today. We're going to be listening to some audio from the Ryder Cup captured by my guy, Neil. Neil, greetings. How are you?
Greetings, Deej. I'm a little scattered, but I'm feeling good. I'm trying to close the book on the 2025 Ryder Cup. A lot of thoughts been bouncing around in my head for a week. But I was moving, so I'm a little scattered. But we're gonna do it live here.
I think that undercurrent, that chaos, I think that's additive. Kind of you're closing the chapter on your life in the big city. You're moving out to the suburbs. You're getting on trains. You're experiencing a lot of different stuff. I think that's going to work in our favor.
Yeah, I had this 2025 Ryder Cup circle on the calendar for 4 years. Like, I'm going to be there. I live in the city, and I thought it'd be a good idea the week before I moved to New Jersey to go spend my week in Farmingdale. So chaos both on site and in my personal life. A bit of a Willie Loman, a lot of quiet desperation going on out there at Bethpage. Just a lot going on. And I've been thinking about this since the RV in Wisconsin when we were at Whistling Straits. I remember saying to myself, man, I want to be at that Ryder Cup in 2025. I felt like I got, ripped off a little bit in Wisconsin. It was COVID. There weren't a lot of European fans. It didn't feel like the Ryder Cup that Solly has talked about for years and years and years, the one at Hazeltine.
That's pretty good.
And it felt like the whole world felt that way as well. Like, man, for the last 4 years, it's been like, God, who knows what's going to happen at Bethpage? Like, that's going to be crazy.
Getting waterboarded with bad music. Place is packed.
Welcome to New York, Rory. This ain't the United States, this is New York. Welcome to it.
You're, of course, out of Bethpage with our guy, Charles Van Kirk, audio producer, sound mixer, who was out there capturing all kinds of stuff with you. I can't wait to get into it. We're going to cover a lot of different stuff on this pod, but I want to start with, why did you want to do the project this way? What was the goal this week?
Well, I find for me, capturing audio it's an interesting exercise. It keeps me locked in for the week. It's almost like a scavenger hunt. You have some ideas. Oh, we should try to capture, what Long Island fans sound like and the transit. And there's plenty of that we got out there. Mics were hot.
Damn, Straka, you looking thick.
But then just serendipity happens and you start talking to some fans from Europe.
But everyone we've met, they're so outspoken. There's no BS. It's unreal. I'd rather that all day long.
You're kind of capturing almost a time capsule of like, what were my emotions as the U.S. is getting boat raced on Saturday?
Bad. What can we heckle when we're down by 7?
Versus, oh my God, are they going to pull off the biggest comeback of all time on Sunday?
10.5. God, I can't believe what's going on right now.
It's just, as it happens, like an audio journal is how I would put it.
Certainly a golf tournament sound. It's just the generators humming, keeping this tent city alive. That and Blade helicopters.
All right, before we get on with the journey to Bethpage, let's talk about somebody who was flushing it at Bethpage. That was, of course, Cameron Young, who you're going to hear more about. I want to dive into his driver setup real quick. He plays the GT2 10-degree driver from our friends at Titleist, which is the higher launching, more stable option compared to the GT3 driver. Cam loves the control he gets from the GT2 head, and as he gets that great stability along with tons of speed, as we can tell from watching on the ground, it also gives him plenty of workability. So he can shape the ball off the tee as needed. Very important out there at Bethpage. Titleist is the most played driver on the PGA Tour, and the majority of those players are in the GT2 and GT3 driver heads. The same is true for almost all of us, but you won't know until you get fit. It's why Titleist also has the GT1 for players who need maximum launch and spin, like Big Randy. I saw his driver in person last week. It was like I don't know, he's playing like a 19-degree drive or something. No, I think it's an 11-degree driver. As well as the GT4, which is the opposite end of the spectrum, players who need even lower spin. And just to round out Cam's metalwood setup, he's also playing a GT3 15-degree fairway wood, which gives him lots of versatility off the tee and the turf, and a 21-degree GT2 hybrid, which he added to the bag for tee shots that call for a 250-yard carry and a soft landing. It's kind of a fun fact there. You think you know everything, but there you go. There's one of the longest players out there who's actually playing a more forgiving driver model and a hybrid in the bag. So you don't know what you're going to need. If you haven't been fit, you aren't playing your best golf. It's that simple. Head to Titleist.com to find a fitting near you. Let's get back to the show. All right, Neil, you're in a bit of a unique situation. You're the only one of us who lives up in the Northeast, in that area, in New York City. I want to talk a little bit about the process of getting out there. I feel like every time you see Ryder Cup Bethpage, there's just, it's the New York skyline. They're playing this thing in Central Park. Not really the case. It takes a bit to get out there, and I'm curious what that process is like. Did you take the chopper out there? What did you do?
No, I didn't fire up the blade like thousands of other people did. I tried to take the subway to the Long Island Railroad, and I had it all mapped out. And, my wife works downtown in New York City, and so I decided to commute to work with her, and which I've never done because I work from home. And I was really excited because this was going to be the last subway ride that I took before moving out to New Jersey. And in classic New York fashion, it went awry.
How about this? I get to take you the F train to J Street Metro Tech to the A, and then I'll drop you at what, Wall Street?
No, Fulton.
Fulton. I think it's the first time I've ever commuted with you. I still got time to make this train.
Again, attention passengers, we're being held in the station due to the train directly in front of this one hitting a signal, and we are being held indefinitely. We apologize for the inconvenience, and we do appreciate your patience.
All right, quick update. We're at President and Court Street, waiting on an Uber, which I hate. We're always trying to go full public transit, but you hate when the conductor says delayed indefinitely. You don't hear that often with the MTA, so we got to adjust. It's going to be cutting it close to catch this Long Island Railroad train. It is 9:17 a.m. Train's at 9:52. Oh boy, we'll see. Classic. We'll keep you posted.
This was on Wednesday?
That was Wednesday.
Good day to be late.
Good day to be late. And I asked my friend Sevi, who runs the course maps, great New York golf content for anybody looking for it, to join me. I wanted kind of another New York golfer, someone very familiar with Bethpage, to go out and kind of scout the course out. Where are the good viewing spots out there? What's the course look like? What are we in store for over the week? I was staying out there in a hotel, near the course, which was vital for us to be able to cover it efficiently. And in classic NG shoe fashion, I early called it.
Gentlemen, right on time. That was brutal. Classic.
Good to see you.
MTA right there. Not a debacle, a classic New York City experience. You know what I would say? It was kind of like I was early. Even my wife was on time leaving. I was like, hey, I want, we should go together. It'll be fun. We're moving next week. It's kind of the last subway ride. Felt like a 2-up lead. We're like, oh, we're cruising. And then you just watch it slowly oh no, I'm not gonna make it. That sucks.
That's the worst feeling.
Just chilling on the train. Train stopped at the station. We're fine, it's 9:05, I got plenty of time. And then the conductor comes on 10 minutes later and just
detonates my morning. All right, one way, Penn Station to, is it Bethpage? Farmingdale. What does peak and off-peak even mean?
I think we're off peak by now.
10 a.m.?
Yeah, we'll be off peak now.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Go ahead. All right, what time is it? 10:26. We are on the Ronkonkoma line. We're 30 minutes late, but we're heading in the right direction.
I did see a lot of competence and effort on behalf, and I want to call out the Long Island Railroad specifically. They had a very good system of free bus transfer from the train, a lot of, gates to move people, to spread out crowds, to make sure lines. So on the way out Wednesday, it was really, really smooth getting in.
Welcome to Farmingdale train station.
All right.
Please have your Long Island
Ticket processing and shuttle bus.
inspection at the gate.
The word I'm feeling is competent. It feels like there's some forward thinking involved here. Can't always say that about a golf event.
The problem is there's just choke points. There's a 2-lane road or a 1-lane road going in and out of the entrance to Bethpage. And, when you get to Friday and the president's going to be on site and the Secret Service takes over security, things got congested.
Yeah, it's not great. It's just 1 lane in, 1 lane out of here. And we're on the bridge, the overpass. And we got people coming up out of the trees from the exit lane, just people appearing. A lot of people just getting out and walking.
I don't think the logistics were good over the course of the week, but they were good on Wednesday. And I thought it did seem like there were some people doing some forward thinking, which I want to call out. But it's a lot of people to move into a very small area.
What's the vibe on a Wednesday or practice round day? Guys are not playing a ton of golf. There's a lot of fans, not a lot of golf going on. Is it kind of quiet? Is it feel like anticipatory?
I would say Wednesday was fun. There's actually room to move around out there.
Here we are on the right side of 4. Front 9 is ghost town. I mean, we're hearing crickets, birds, airplanes. And the Rice Krispie treat in my pocket, which I'm sorry, fiddling around with. Some kind of blowing your sound. It feels like state park sounds. I feel like we're just on a walk in the woods. I mean, you do have the jets. Look at that big boy. Yeah.
Jeez, man.
Here comes the C-Suite.
Is that Solly pulling up?
Yeah, Solly just landed. G650. Blowing up our park sounds.
I think my experience at Ryder Cups past is before the action gets going, it's just a lot of milling about. It's almost like a big social mixer where you're just kind of walking around and just running into people. Is that what your feeling was?
Yes, and I ran into a lot of people on Wednesday when it was a little bit less stressful of I have to get to this site so I can see some golf today.
What was it like to volunteer at Bethpage Black?
It was about as chaotic as you'd expect.
Really?
But, it's the People's Open. People know how to figure out shit, and they show up and show out. Logistics. I was trained as a cashier, which I wasn't expecting, so I was actually doing POS, punching people out. Had some big numbers in there.
What was the biggest number?
The biggest one that I hit, a guy split it on 2 cards, probably closer to 1,500 total.
Ooh!
But,
went 2 cards, keep the wife off the scent?
Yeah.
And I would say it was very peaceful in the afternoon on Wednesday. We walked the front 9 of the course, and there wasn't really anybody out there. It's fun to see, oh my God, I wonder how many people are going to hit it in the Great Hazard. Like, oh, this would be a great viewing experience behind 3 green if people are willing to walk out here. Oh, the right side of number 8, if you're willing to make the walk, that's going to be a great place to watch golf without any, corporate hospitality or anything getting in your way.
So they moved the opening ceremony. It was supposed to be on Thursday. It was actually on Wednesday because of weather. I didn't really get to watch it on TV, so I'm just kind of piecing snippets together from social media. Fill me in, man. What was the opening ceremony like? What sticks out to you?
Listen, the organizers dealt a tough hand with the weather. Having them on Wednesday is tough, then Thursday becomes almost pointless. But I have low expectations of the Ryder Cup opening ceremonies. They want it to feel big, but it turns into a bit of a B list. But a few things stuck out in Farmingdale to me. For better or worse, the Ryder Cup will never be able to stick to sports. The nationalism, the jingoistic displays, they're baked into the event. I mean, that's kind of what it's all about. So you kind of, you better know that going in. So politics were evident right from the start when, Carson Daly introduces Governor Kathy Hochul. yeah, we can roll that.
And now we would like to show some appreciation to the beautiful host state. That is, of course, New York. Please welcome the governor, Kathy Hochul. Governor.
Charlie and I were on a mission to see if anybody else would get Hochuled. The welcome from the Long Island crowd for Governor Hochul will be a lasting memory and sound for me. And I don't think anybody got booed that hard, even Rory. So that was a welcome to New York moment. My first thought was, God, can't we get anybody better than Carson Daly, the host? But I will say he exceeded expectations. Total pro, handled the Hochul stuff well.
That went well. Thank you. Better than expected.
Dropped a couple of jabs at, Roger Goodell.
It's not Roger Goodell. Everybody relax.
Like, I thought he's almost like post DGAF. He seems like he's been in the spotlight for a long, long time. My Carson Daly stock went up after his performance.
I think that's very well said. He's been around for so long. It's just like, man, what else you got to throw at me? I've heard it all.
Exactly.
I've heard it all, man. Yeah, I'm just out here because why wouldn't I be?
This might take a minute. Wait, I got a good idea. Let's bring the governor back up. Governor?
He's kind of working it right now. I'm in.
What a great invite to get. Yeah, hell yeah, I'll go to the Ryder Cup. Sounds great.
And then, of course, I'm wondering what happened to the Rory Carson Daly podcast on, Golf Now or whatever.
Everybody thinks this podcast game is so easy, man. Let's see you get past episode 10.
They announced Carson Daly, and I'm like, Carson Daly? God, what happened to that podcast? Anyway, one of the funnier moments of the week is kind of the build up to the national anthem. The place is buzzing after team introductions, captain speeches, the thought of, President Trump's attending in a couple days. So naturally, you're expecting a big name, maybe a Long Island legend will be singing.
I know who that is.
Come on. That sounds like Billy Joel's music. Sing us a song, Mr. Piano Man, and sing us a song tonight, okay? Because we're in the mood for a melody. Well, check it out, Deej. It wasn't Billy Joel, but it was a guy that tours with Billy Joel, and that's how he was introduced. It was a guy named Mike Del Judas. A name I wouldn't have known how to pronounce unless I looked it up. I would have said Del Guidas. And no offense at all to Mike. I thought he did a great job, but I'd be lying if I said there wasn't an undercurrent of, in the crowd that sounded like Mike Del who?
Please rise, the United States National Anthem performed today by a renowned vocalist and recording artist who has toured the world with Billy Joel, Long Island's own Mike Del Judas. Mike?
Couldn't get Billy?
Who was he? What was the connection?
He is the guitarist for Billy Joel's band. He's just like the dude in his band. And so I'm guessing there's a bunch of Billy Joel fans who are like, you don't know who Del Judas is? But I'm like, I did not know who Del Judas was. So it's just kind of one of those, like, another little, like, man, you got this all the pomp and circumstance and the flyovers, which I love, which we'll get to. But it just was like, I was like, it's got to be Billy Joel. And it's like, no, it's a guy that's toured with Billy Joel. Like the loudspeaker was like, it was like stolen valor from Billy Joel. Before the event starts, by this point in the week, you're just like, can we just get on with it? I mean, it's like only downside for the organizers of like, well, you built this up so big that if you don't get Billy Joel, you put my guy Del Guidas in a horrible position.
Judas.
It just doesn't work.
Judas.
Del Judas. Yes, my guy Mikey Del Judas. Poor Mikey. Unbelievable.
Oh man,
I didn't know he'd be catching strays on the No Laying It Up podcast.
That's an improvement right there. That's good stuff.
On the flip side, DJ, give me all the flyovers. All of them.
It seems like they did. They couldn't stop flying over.
They had the Golden Knights, the Army's parachute squad come rolling down. That was almost like an infomercial.
The parachutes used by the Golden Knights are a flexible wing glider constructed of a lightweight ripstop nylon. These parachutes have an inherent forward airspeed of 22 miles per hour.
Then they had the choppers. We walked down the hill and you see the pilots, in their Air National Guard flight suits ready to go. So we stopped and talked to those guys, and my guy Cobra, kind of got the skinny on why they call him Cobra.
You guys doing the flyover?
Yeah, later on.
What are you flying?
We've the Payfox that are coming in. We'll be around for the national anthem later on. So.
Okay. What kind of birds are you flying?
It's like a Black Hawk variant.
Oh, so you're flying helicopters?
Yeah.
So 4:30, we're gonna see you flying over.
4:30, yeah, 4:39, I think, is our TOT for our time on target for we'll come down the fairway, I think.
Down what?
Yeah, down this way, and then up over the the main clubhouse there, I think. So.
And what's your call sign?
For the aircraft?
Yeah, no, you personally,
me?
like Maverick and Goose.
Yeah. I'm Cobra.
You're Cobra?
Yeah.
Hell yeah. How'd you get that name?
It's a lot of them are acronyms.
Okay.
For just various things. So. Yeah. I'm pretty new, so I don't have a lot of stories yet.
Sure.
So mine, because I'm so old, could have been retired already. So
hell yeah. Kirkland's signature Billy Joel and Cobra at the flyover.
That was fucking sick.
That was, they timed that.
The flag popped up and blocked the helicopter.
They timed that up nicely.
And then, get down to it Friday morning, Friday afternoon, Saturday morning, just heavy flyovers.
Stands the hair up a little bit.
It makes the hair stand up on your arms. It is. For me, I cannot deny it. It's America, fuck yeah, when those planes fly over. I'm like a kid with fireworks or something. It works for me, man. It works.
It's good thing you didn't throw the drone up. I think that would have been a tough day for that.
Yeah, so the Ryder Cup reminds you how many clothing companies make American-themed merchandise, overalls, hats, skin-tight jumpsuits, bad polos, bad button-downs, all American flag themed. I mean, I was actually in awe of how many people came in matching costumes, both on the European side and the USA side.
So this is what they call a greater Glasgow tartan. Yeah, so he's a 33-inch, I'm a 36, but I've got a bit of girth about me. Yeah, it's all good.
They look fresh, they look good.
Yeah, they are. Underneath is even better, but we won't go there.
All right, so the practice rounds are behind us. It's kind of beaver pitch leading to that first tee. That's the moment that everybody is waiting for. I was a little bit shocked, even as long as I've done this now, that I'm like, man, 6 a.m. Central Time for balls in the air. Like, that is okay. That's early. I'm curious what what are the people on site gonna have to do to get a spot in that first tee? What was your plan? Talk me through your Friday morning.
I had a plan. Didn't go well. Overslept. So, you can just roll that tape.
Oh, man. All right, 5:17. Out front in the hotel. I'm not going to lie to you. I blew it. I overslept. So we'll see if we can still finagle our way onto that first tee. God, I haven't done this, seriously, since 2022. What a fucking dunce move. Woke up at fucking cold sweat.
Little more context on that. I don't like to wake up 10 minutes beforehand. So set the alarm for 4:19, 4:21, 4:24. I don't set alarms on 0s and 5s. I forgot to set the backstop alarm at 4:58. So I snoozed all three of those, and I woke up to a phone call at 4:58 from Solly. Hey, you gonna make this bus? I said, absolutely not.
It's one of those situations where you're like, all right, I don't want to be his babysitter. I don't want to be his dad. Sure, he's gonna be there. He's gonna get so annoyed by that text 5 minutes out. Like, hey, you gonna make it? You gonna make the shuttle? Didn't respond to our texts. Call him at 4:59. Yo, Neil, you good? No, no, oh God, you just hear the panic in his voice, and I've been there before. No, oh God, oh, I can't believe I did that. Oh, no. I was like, all right, there's another, all right, I'll see, I'll got the next shuttle. I got the next one. Ah, my bad. Ah. You just hear him going scrambling for the shower. Feel bad. We've all been there. Just sadly predictable.
It's tough. There may or may not have been some casting of blame in a text thread as well after that.
It just happened to me in Stockholm. It's only when I'm with Solly. It's just, I guess, the Ryder Cup hadn't even started. The Americans are already blaming each other.
So I caught the next bus, and I was able to work my way, kind of media privilege. I was able to work my way in through a side gate, and I got to the first tee. So I made it on time, but it was a very stressful morning. And I will say, once I got there, it was a gorgeous sunrise. And I had a Sky Sports commentator, right behind me in the media viewing spot, and a golden orb is coming up over the New York skyline. Just fantastic. Skyline and visuals were great. The energy and audio was very underwhelming.
Vibe is a little disjointed out here. They got the DJ that doesn't really know golf. He's not getting the crowd pumped up. They just tried, this woman, Heather, came out, said she was going to pump the crowd up. She got booed off stage.
Here we go. 1, 2, clap. 1, 2, clap. Here come the lyrics. Scotty Scheffler.
I would lay this one at the PGA's feet. The grandstands on 1 and 18 were set up to look, visually they looked awesome, impressive, photographed well, but there was no Coliseum.
But it's also not built around, so the sound may not, we'll see, but this is just, the first observation is big arena, but it's not gonna feel like you're in the Coliseum as much.
The first tee was great today. I think compared to Rome, not quite the Coliseum around the first tee. I think the US probably missed the trick there.
And then you combine that with, a bunch of US fans that can't say anything other than USA.
Man, bad cadence.
It was just a kind of an own goal for the PGA of America not to have that first tee rocking.
What do they do differently, do you think? How do you fix that?
Well, I think it seemed like it was a noticeable decision by the tournament planners to set the rope lines and the grandstands back from the field of play farther than it looked like it was in Rome, definitely farther than it was in Whistling Straits. And when I've seen those videos of Hazeltine, same thing. I think that was because they were anticipating some pretty hostile crowds. So there wasn't any way for fans to look across the aisle at each other. You kind of just felt like you were far from the action, and it was very easy for people to sit down and get on their phone. And, there's a lot of time to kill. And if you don't have anybody at the very least working left side say U, middle say S, right side say A. Even the basics, it just there was no communal feel on the first tee. And that was a real bummer.
Yeah, it's a weird phenomenon where it's like the music kind of drowns out some of the energy, but then when you stop the music, then people aren't doing anything. It just is, I don't know how you crack that or why it seems to be such a struggle over here versus over there. I know the Europeans are much more coordinated. We're going to get to that with all their songs and chants and everything, but that's just, as much as we got to fix the pairings and we got to fix the prep, we got to fix the first tee as well. I think that's an important part of the autopsy going forward.
And I think Friday morning, a lot of lines, I think a tree fell on a transformer and that shut down some gates to get in. So I think people were, and then they're getting, everyone's getting strip searched by the Secret Service, including Charlie. I think one of the K9 units just got all up in the mic wires.
All right, anything else in your pocket?
No, just this wire, which is under my shirt.
Take off the lanyard. On the table. Come on through, okay? Perfect. Wait on the side for your things. We'll let you know when
And so I think once they made it to the grandstand, holy shit, I made it. And then it was like, let me take a big deep breath. And that's where you need somebody leading the charge. Like, tell me what to do. A lot of people, I looked around, it was like a lot of people were like, tell me what to do. I've been waiting 4 years to be here. Like, I'm in.
You can hear the buzz. I think as soon as we cross this hill, it's gonna hit us. There's some people sprinting by us. Grandstands look full as we're seeing on the Jumbotron right now.
It's 5:45 a.m.
I didn't realize you could get here this early. I felt like we were like the early birds here. Now I feel like we're behind. We got Metallica playing already. God, people are gonna get burned out too quickly. It's too early for this. You got to peak at the right time. We got an hour and a half to go almost.
Neil, I want to talk about ticket prices a little bit. This was a big story in the months leading up to the Ryder Cup.
This whole Ryder Cup is too corporate. They destroyed the whole vibe here. $800 tickets. You're not getting any vibes here.
What was it? Did you get any sense of people kind of, I don't even know how to ask the question. Like, were people excited that they were there? Were they a little bit like all that for this sort of a vibe? How would you assess kind of what the ticket prices led to as far as the mood and the crowd?
I didn't have a lot of conversations with people complaining about the price once they were there. And I will say, I think what helped is it was free concessions.
Oh, is this free? Wow.
Can you explain that for a second? What does that mean?
Well, we walked up I was expecting to stand in a long line to check out for a, $20 Italian sausage that was kind of cold. I mean, free food. Just walk in, grab and go. Part of the ticket. I hate to say it. Hate to give anybody any credit, but that's sweet. And the Italian sausage was pretty good.
You walked in, there were rows of about 20 coolers with ice cold Pepsi products, which is a bummer because I'm a Coca-Cola guy.
Kind of emblematic of the whole.
It is.
DJ
It is
America
second rate stuff. That's a match made in heaven there. But Gatorade, they have Gatorades, cold waters, Gatorades. You walk in, you grab whatever you want, and then they have a row of burgers, hot dogs, Italian sausages. Really basic concession fare.
You worry about if we're doing that at scale, like, are we nuking dogs back there? How are we cooking them?
Hey, you get it for free, man. You're never gonna be that critical,
But out
That's
here,
awesome.
we're just looking for sustenance.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the closest comp is the unlimited PTO kind of comparison.
That's a great call.
It's like how many people are actually coming in here 6 or 7 times
Let's
getting
pull on that.
dogs?
Yeah. You can take as much vacation as you want, but if you do.
I'd say the highlight for me was just, Rice Krispie treats and pretzels.
Oh, a little Rice Krispie treat? Why? Don't mind if I do.
I probably had 15 Rice Krispie treats. And I haven't had a lot of Rice Krispie treats in the last 10 years. And so that was kind of a thrill. But you could just walk in, and as the week went on, there were some lines to get, into the concessions, but grab and go. You didn't have to stop at a cash register. And I think that is, after somebody feels like they got ripped off for $800 tickets, I do think that leaves a good lasting impression of like, oh, that takes a little bit of stress off. Now, on the flip side, when there's no value associated with a bottle of water or Gatorade, I saw so many hundreds and hundreds of half to full water bottles just strewn about the property.
Firefest undertones, potentially. So we will be monitoring that situation. Feels like people are here to drink, not so much watch golf. Which maybe is true for all golf tournaments.
And I will give Bethpage Black and the staff credit. Every morning, the course was spotless, but it was a little bit like nobody's valuing this bottle of water and finishing it. Whereas if I paid $5 or $6 for it, I'm going to get every last drop out of it. So there's trade-offs to that. Now, I think it's important, though, that people stayed hydrated. It was hot. Sunburns were an issue.
I'm on the walking path in the woods between 6 and 12. It is really hot out here.
And if you are not in one of those hospitality tents, it's hard to see golf, and it can be very frustrating.
We couldn't see anything because we're stuck here.
We're trying to go to the other side.
We're trying to get out. We're
That's what
stuck.
we told you from the beginning. We want to go over there. We're done.
And they're trying to make us pee in the woods like animals.
Would you characterize watching the Ryder Cup in person as a frustrating experience?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they lose every fucking match.
I think if it's possible, the ideal setup is you go Wednesday or Thursday to a practice round, and then you go Sunday. I feel like Friday and Saturday are very frustrating days of golf with only 8 matches on both those days, and really, really hard to see anything. Where the action was happening, the 17th was very cool. 16 green and 17 the par 3 was a good arena of people below the hospitality tents. But the tents were prioritized as far as viewing goes. And so it was, if you didn't stake out a spot and stay there, and that's stressful because you don't want to pick the wrong hole. Like, where is the action going to happen?
What was your strategy? Follow a group or camp out somewhere?
Yeah, really messed up. We were in one. We tried to get ahead, couldn't get ahead. Just a little all over the place.
I feel like your options are either watch the back of someone's head or wait in the sun and eventually get a good spot. So lesser of two evils. It's just so hot.
I would liken this event to probably the Kentucky Derby, and it's just hours and days and months and years of buildup. And for a horse race, it's 2 minutes. If you go knowing that, you almost turn it into a picnic in the park. You got to find a TV, you got to find some shade, and you post up and you can watch a little bit of live golf. But for the most part, you're kind of watching a drive-in movie on the big screen with a bunch of people around you.
It's a lot of walking.
I'm having to traverse uneven terrain with a goddamn fake leg, and it's fucking hard. Daddy's doing work today. Like, I burned 17,000 calories today according to my Apple Watch.
But, I've been going to the gym, working out, getting ready for this, taking it very seriously. And we were looking for 3, and we just said, forget about it. We're going to sit right here in front of this screen and make it a living room.
I like it. Make it a living room. Make it cozy.
And that could be really fun if that's what you're expecting. Another lasting memory was watching certain moments unfold on the Jumbotron. There's no sound, there's no audio. So when Bryson and Tommy and Scotty and Justin Rose are walking on Saturday, walking from 15 green to 16, and there was a kerfluffle, you're watching this almost silent movie, this drama unfold without any audio.
Wow, Bryson getting into it with Fleetwood. Finna walking up to 16T. Look at Ted getting into Dodo's face. Wow.
Tommy Fleetwood!
Fleetwood breaking it up.
Tommy Fleetwood! Tommy Fleetwood!
Oh, this is amazing, watching this with no sound. Rose and Shuffle in the background, talking calmly to each other. Smiley trying to figure out what the fuck's going on. Absolute scenes. Finno trying to take the temperature down. Bryson trying to act like he didn't do anything wrong. God, they definitely can't understand Finno. It's watching this, it's like a silent movie. This is incredible. It's the most action we've seen all day.
That was awesome. I really, really enjoyed that 3 minutes of what happened. I missed the reason that they were arguing, which was Bryson's caddy stepping in front of Rose while he's trying to putt. But just that kind of confusion and excitement. At that time, the U.S. was getting their asses kicked, completely dominated. And 17, this arena, was probably 80% of the people. No golf had made it there all day. Everyone was just laying in the grass, sitting with their legs crossed, just watching TV. And it felt like Firefest. It's like, oh, this is depressing. And it was like, hey, wait, there's going to be a fight. And nothing gets the Long Island fans on their feet like a fight. It was like being in the Islanders barn. Like, go get him. Yeah, get him, Ted, yeah. And so that kind of got the people going. And then, the U.S. continued to get their ass kicked. So it was pretty hostile out there on Saturday afternoon.
So just to put a little finer point on it, like you said, there's 4 years of buildup, really more since they've announced the venues. And it's just everybody's kind of waiting for, I can't wait, Bethpage Saturday afternoon. It's going to be haymakers flying all over. And like you mentioned, the U.S. is just getting pummeled. So what's the mood out there like when that happens?
Listen, the reason we're so mad is they made a great point. It is a library. We've got nothing to cheer about. It's Cope.
A library.
Yeah, a library. They don't know how to pronounce it.
A library.
But it's Cope. I mean, we're crying. We're bad. We're in a bad spot.
I'm embarrassed that we haven't won a match today, or we won one today. And I'm surrounded by Europeans. and they're having way more fun than me.
I mean, are people just kind of checked out? Is it quiet? Are they starting to lash out at anybody? What does it feel like?
When there's no golf when you're watching it on the big screen, it's checked out and just frustrating.
I was expecting it to be a wee bit more rowdy, but like I say, maybe in the afternoon, once the Americans come back into it, I think it will start heating up a wee bit, I would say.
There's a lot more Americans here, but they're not making much noise.
Right now, it's gone quiet because Europe's just destroying them once again.
And I think it's more of a selfish frustration of like, that match is going to end on 14. That one's going to end on 15. I'm standing behind 17 green. And then you get a glimmer of hope. Someone, they're 3 down, they make a putt, they go 2 down. This match might make it. And then you watch on the big screen a match end on 15 green. And so there's 4 matches. All of a sudden it goes from, I can't wait for these guys to get to 17 green to literally only one match is going to make it here, the last one. And there's just a collective frustration. I thought that was going to lead to the U.S. fans turning on the U.S. squad.
New Yorkers know when we're down, we boo our own. We should be booing Keegan.
Will you boo Keegan?
I have on 9 and 10.
Okay.
When everyone was kissing his butt, I called him out.
But because they had nothing to cheer about, it led to them lashing out at one specific person, and that was Rory. And I think that's because most of the people on site didn't know anything about anybody else. I would say Rahm a little bit, but mainly just Rory. And that's where things got so Saturday morning, I think one match made it to 17. So Saturday afternoon, people didn't watch a lot of golf. It was really hot. The booze are flowing, and the crowds are just kind of at a fever pitch for just nothing's happening, so I'm gonna make something happen. Was kind of the vibe. It's almost like they all went into the Porta-Johns and looked at the gross, little mirror. And like, you go out there and you make it about you, okay? When they get to number 11, you make it about you.
People are frothing. They're buzzing. Just all lathered up in the sun. Stinky, grumpy.
And that's kind of what happened. Saturday afternoon was a disgrace. I will say that. It really was. It was very unfortunate. I hope that listeners feel the cringe that I felt when some of these things were belted out loud on a silent tee box or after a putt.
You can cheat on your wife, you can't cheat a 10-footer.
All right, that was 8T, Rory teeing off. Really, really, really heavy, harsh pussy call after the swing.
Damn, Rom, I didn't know you were that thick. Those hips do lie, Rom. Fuck you, Rory! We got the meat shake!
Harvey sauce! Shane taking a bow, tossing the ball to the crowd, just chumming the waters. It's a hot stew out here right now.
The amount of abuse has been fucking crazy, really classless. On this hole yesterday, people were screaming at Rory, where's your mistress, where's your wife? I just thought it was just distasteful. It wasn't funny. No one was laughing.
I think there's something very interesting. This has been pointed out many times in the kind of postmortems, but there's something interesting about the difference between the U.S. fans and the European fans, in that I do feel like the European fans, while they'll throw a clever barb here and there, they're there to root on their team. And I don't know if our team is not as exciting or not as likable, or if it's not as fun to root on the home team.
And it was interesting to hear the crowd turn on Scheffler.
Did they turn on him?
A little bit, in the sense that Hovland and McIntyre went past, and Hovland was just smacking McIntyre's ass, just being just fucking get in there, just fucking hit a good one. But Scheffler was just oh, I'm fucking ice cold, I'm zoned in. He was just no atmosphere.
The U.S. fans seems like they're much more there to, I shouldn't say all of them, a big portion of the U.S. fans seem like they're much more down to huck shit at the other team than they are to, cheer on Scotty and Colin and, all of the guys on their own side. Was that how it felt on the ground?
Yes, I think Bryson was the only magnetic. It was the only person that the casual fans knew what to do. Like, he bombs it. So, like, just cheer, like, pull driver, Bryson, pull driver, Bryson. And then Cam Young, because he played well and he's from New York. So those two got a lot of love, and they gave the U.S. fans something to root for. The rest of the squad didn't emote much with the crowd. JT a little bit. But JT didn't play great the first couple days, so there just wasn't a lot to root for. And so I think when that happened, the U.S. crowd went from, we're not having fun, so we're not going to let the other side have fun.
You're welcome for winning that war for you guys. We won World War I. And remember General Pershing, you guys be speaking German.
I so deeply regret the fact that the United States has such a different fan culture than Europe, and we can't get together on fun chants. All I hear all week is USA, which, whatever. But, the fact that Europeans can just come together and fucking copy a random fan song and, that's so cool. And, I wish we could do that.
What the U.S. fans are good at is drowning out, either with USA or with booze, anything on the European side. So it's like a fire blanket, just smothers it. And but then it becomes dead silent. It's like, we beat them down. Like, keep your face in the dirt. It's like, well, why don't we lift it up here, gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen? Can we get something? And I almost feel we have a podcast. Maybe we need to start some cheers. I don't know where to go with that.
Is this a library? Is this a library? Is this a library? There's no library. Is this a library?
I watched all four groups come through number 2, and it was like a tidal wave of energy when Rory came through, a tidal wave of bad energy. And then it was like, that was it. And then it just kind of went down a notch with the second group, went down way down with the third group, and everybody cleared out by the fourth group. And then I watched all four groups come through 8. Same deal. It was like, okay, everybody was ready and all jacked up and ready to get at Rory. And then it was like, okay, but it wasn't like, oh, I can't wait to cheer for JJ Spawn coming through next. And oh God, I can't wait to watch Colin hit this iron shot. It was none of that. It was like, I can't wait to say fuck you to Rory, was kind of the vibe.
Fuck Rory has been a good heckle.
Not very clever.
Oh, I slept with your mom, Rory, was a good one.
And it's like, well, that sucks. It was a core piece of the drama, but it was very uncomfortable. And I will say this too, personally, the Ryder Cup is a family affair. So all the wives are there. And so they're falling into groups, and they're all kind of dressed in their matching outfits, and it's very noticeable. And so when some of this stuff gets shouted and that their family's on site and, their kids are around, it's just like, man, that's uncomfortable.
Was there a particularly memorable, from when things got ugly, was there a particularly memorable fan that sticks out?
Yeah, as you get farther from the event, there's certain scenes that stick out. And Saturday afternoon, I'm standing below the grandstand behind 11 green. And it's just a boiling pot of water. It's baking in the sun for hours, and the first group rolls through, and it's Rory and Shane, and they're stomping in the bleachers, and the Rory chants start when they're about 50 yards from the green. And there's 2 guys, but mainly one guy standing up front row, hanging over the railing, pointing a bony finger at Rory. I know you hear me. It's not so much what he said, and it's just the tone in which he said it. There's a state trooper pointing back at him like, you better settle down. I got a cameraman in front of me, turns around, looks at the guy and says, shit, they're going to make him go to live. It's just like the whole, it just felt so tense, and And that wasn't, by far not the worst thing I heard, but maybe just the tone was it kind of summed up like, whoa, this is getting hostile.
You hear me, my boy? I know you do. You don't need a Martin Chunk. Welcome to New York, Rory. This ain't the United States. This is New York. Welcome to it.
I think one of the big disconnects between this and the casual fan side have a little tiny shred of a modicum of a point is like, oh, go to a basketball game, man. Go to a hockey game, go to a football game. Like, it's all the exact same stuff. What is the big deal? And I think it's hard to almost wrap your head around how much more intimate golf is, where it's like, man, you're not up in the grandstands 500 feet away. Like, you're just standing on the other side of a rope. And these are pretty point blank shouts. And I just always find that a little fascinating, a little like unnerving, that it's like, man, I hope all of these 50,000 people just stay on the other side of this rope. It's kind of a
yeah,
very strange feeling, especially when the atmosphere starts to get turned up. It's just it's a weird clash between, we want to make golf a big time spectacle sporting event, and it's also very different than all of those other big time spectacle sporting events.
And it's the only sport where it's dead silent.
Yeah.
While play's going on. So this stuff people just bellow things, and it almost just echoes. And so that adds once someone breaks the seal on that, then there's a bit of a, collective one-upsmanship going on. And if, well, he did it, so I'm going to yell something, and there's the anonymity of the crowd. And because these crowds are 10, 20 people deep, somebody can just yell whatever they want. And it's hard to find them. I'll give the state police credit. They were active on the back nine Saturday. I saw 3 people get kicked out.
First ejection of the day in 17 grandstands. All right, looks like we found the heckler. State police escorting him out.
Am I fucking kidding? Shut up. There's a home team, home ground, home course, lose.
I know this is kind of strange, but like, you got all the mics rolling, any thought to putting a recorder on some of these people and just being like, hey, what, talk to me about why you just hucked that.
Yeah. Charlie and I stopped and talked to one guy, and it was not a fun conversation.
I said Rory walks like a twink, but
what don't you like about his walk?
I don't know, it looks like a fucking homo.
Okay.
But it's okay though. It's okay though. He's allowed to. It just looks like a twink,
So big Roy fan then?
No, I like Rory. It's just not today. It's just not today. I use a lot of bad words that are banned.
Where are you from?
Here. Long Island.
I felt like my role is to observe and to like witness it, but I did have the urge to be like, shut the fuck up, and you heard some of that. Like, so I'm 13, somebody yelled something pretty horrible at Rory, and a woman was like, shut up. And like, we don't feel that way, Rory. Like I wanted to hear more of that, kind of self-policing, which in most circles in New York City, I feel like there's a good bit of that as a city of like, if somebody's acting a fool, a lot of times people will step in and be like, don't do that. We don't do that here. More so than other cities I've lived in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, one more break in the action here from our friends at Rhoback. Fall golf is here, and you already know Rhoback's our go-to for polos, hoodies, joggers, pants, all of it. Best fit, best feel, simple as that. The Rhoback Delta pants, our favorite pants to wear on the golf course. Stretch elastic waistband is a game changer. Gives you that extra room for some added comfort while maintaining the best fit possible. Fabric is smooth and wrinkle resistant, easy to pack, comfortable to wear. That is imperative, as you know, for some of these fall golf trips. Second, a new one for us. We haven't talked much about it. The Rhoback Fulton vest, another key piece of the fall wardrobe. Vest is awesome. Nice, light insulation to keep you warm. Isn't too bulky either. Interior and exterior pockets. Hide whatever you want in there. A really nice layering piece as you get out to the course. Maybe wear it for the first 5 holes and pack it away in the bag. It's nice and light. Finally, it wouldn't feel right if we didn't mention the best hoodie in the game, the Rhoback Hezi hoodie. It's so soft. You've seen these all over our content. No better feeling wearing a Rhoback hoodie fresh out of the package. So as we head into fall, check out Rhoback.com, RHOBACK.com. and use code NLU at checkout for 20% off your first order through the end of the week. Pants, hoodies, vests, Rhoback has you covered. Let's get back to the show. Let me ask you this way. What was your expectation for Sunday versus what was the reality of Sunday as far as energy and excitement goes?
Well, one of my lasting memories kind of went out on a high note Saturday night was I moseyed up to the grandstands behind 18 as a flood of red, white, and blue is heading for the exits. The Euro fans were just, they were celebrating. I mean, it was a historic beatdown, and it was so much fun to be in the middle of almost like, it felt like what it would feel like to go to a football game in, a Premier League game or something. It was just chant after chant.
Come on, baby.
A few of my favorites, Cheerio, 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 Cheerio. Cheerio! I mean, just fun, kind of rubbing the U.S.'s nose in it, but in a fun way, in a clever way. There was another one that I picked up that I loved. It was like, there must be a fire because everybody's heading for the exits.
Is there a fire drill? Is there a fire drill? Is there a fire drill? Is there a fire drill?
That one tickled me. I love that. And then they are calling out to Kirill Hatton and to Matt Fitzpatrick of like, send us out. And they would do this thing where they're like, oh. The Euro players would almost like get them all, riled up. It was like ready break as like a collective. So it was just very communal. And it felt like, yeah, the Ryder Cup's over. Like, so I was almost like, I'm glad I got to witness the celebration because tomorrow's going to be, it's going to be dead. I don't even want to go back out on Sunday. Now, when I showed up, I was wrong. It was packed. The first tee was bumping. And I was like, is this going to be a celebration of life or a funeral? It was certainly a celebration of life because the energy was as high as it'd been all week. So I'll give U.S. fans credit, whether it's because they're ignorant or, delusional. It was like a lot of, hey, we can still get this done. But come on, we just go win all the matches. It's no big deal.
All I'm going to tell you is U.S. is coming back, and we're going to kick some butt this afternoon.
I mean, we're actually going to see a miracle today. I firmly believe that in my heart. And if not, fuck it. It's a beautiful day. I'm about 3 transfusions deep, and I've got chills up and down my spine. So,
meanwhile, it's like hanging out with Saul. It's like it's statistically impossible for this to happen. So it's like everybody in my inner circle is like, this is just, it's impossible. And then everybody, like all the fans are like, oh yeah, we can do it.
The juice today has been surprisingly high.
After Cam just hit that putt, we're looking to, it sounds like a crowd that still believes.
I know, like unrealistically. They only need 2 points to retain the cup. So I think it'll be over by 3 p.m.
Yeah. It looked really blue on the leaderboard throughout the front 9.
It's so good.
And I kind of walked in feeling like, this is pointless. I'm hot. I'm hungry. I can't see anything. And then all of a sudden,
looks like Tommy just lipped that one out. Cam? How about that? All right, Cam picks up 1 at 18.
That means it's not over in 2 more holes.
Yeah. And it's like quicksand for the Euros. It's like, oh my God, everything's going red.
A lot going on out here. We're prolonging life.
I know.
Who cares? Put it off to the end. Credit card payments, Right now, the board looks like a big credit card payment. If we could just pay off that balance of Fitzpatrick.
You know, just let the interest fly to Griffin, Morikawa, Burns.
All right, Fitzy to clean up par.
Yeah. Oh, no! Wow. Bryson ties it up, heading to 18. Well, they got to hold him off with...
All right, JT on the big screen.
Put this in.
Biggest Ryder Cup putt of his life.
Place is getting a little juicy. What a putt. Takes down Tommy. Spears going up in the air. Woo. What is happening?
Looks like he missed it right. Oh, man. Way right. Jeez. Roy into the bunker on 18 on the big screen. Wow. God, people are vibing now. This is unbelievable.
And I think the way I felt was like, by the afternoon, as things started to turn and Cam Young made that putt, you start to look at the leaderboard, and it's a very specific thing to the Ryder Cup. You're almost buying time. It's like the U.S. team is on life support. It's like, how can we get another 30 minutes? So if Bryson has this match, that buys us, based on this leaderboard, that buys us another 30 minutes.
This is it. 5-footer for Bryson. To keep things moving here. All right, Bryson does it. Halves the match. There it is, so 13 and a half, hanging on by a thread. Oh, looks like Spawn's over his putt. I think just 2 putts to win here. That's it. All right, JJ, another point on the board, 10 and a half. 10 and a half. God, I can't believe what's going on right now.
And then it comes to, Ben Griffin and Russell Henley.
Come on, Russ, don't hit a wipey one. All right, here we go. Henley.
Get in.
Oh, he left it short. Oh my God, he left it short. In the heart. Ross leaves it short on 18. Now it's on Lowry's putter to have the match, get to 14.
Left it short.
God, that's tough.
And then, Russ misses that putt and Shane makes his, and you just hear this roar from 18, and it's like, that's it. It's all over.
All right, here it is. Lowry to have it. Oh! He made it. He made it. To have the match and retain the cup. God. And then 2 meaningless balls in the 16. Listen to that. Man, it's gonna take me a minute to process how quickly that happened. I mean, Cam Young made a putt, and then JT made a putt. I mean, a lot of credit goes to Bryson, comes back from 3 down. Unbelievable. They've only won 1 match today, and only 1 match in blue. It's truly incredible.
So after all of this, after all the buildup, after all the opening ceremonies, the first tee, the beat down, the comeback. I mean, what's kind of the big lasting takeaway you think you're going to have from this week?
I think long term, it's the joy, the glee, the joie de vivre of the European celebration and the class of it too. Just the friends arm in arm, European flags, Viking hats, just different chants, echoing around the arena that was 15, 16, and 17. Just a communal celebration, and truly like joy. And I was like jealous of it. God, I want that, man. I want to get in on that.
I thought Solly had a great point throughout this entire Ryder Cup cycle, which is that Europe, everybody has, myself very, very much included in this. Everybody just praises Europe for all the tactical thought and the forward planning and leaving no stone unturned. And there is a little bit of a, can you imagine if the U.S. did this sort of vibe? Can you imagine if the U.S. had the VR headsets out to, prepare for the crowd noise? When the Euros do it, it's genius. If Keegan Bradley was out there doing it, we'd all be laughing. If they were talking in the press conference about changing soaps and body washes at the hotel, we would be joking about that. I think some of the fan stuff feels a little similar, and I don't know why. I think is it a lack of self-seriousness from the European fans? Is it, kind of not being afraid to look silly? What is the, do you get what I'm getting at?
Yes, I do. I think it's an earnestness, and it goes back to, I felt like the things being said and done by U.S. fans was, look at me. And on the European side, it's like, there's an earnestness and like, no, I'm just supporting my team. It goes back to how I felt in Ireland at Reedy's. It's the same feeling.
For tourist sauce, you're saying, yeah.
For tourist sauce. And when we went to Ireland and we were in that bar and the guy's playing the accordion, and it's like, yeah, you have to dance. Like, why wouldn't you dance?
The Irish, musicians and poets, as soon as we hear one verse, we're jumping in.
What I want to remember about this Ryder Cup is the jovial, gleeful, classy European fans in winning, the conviviality. I was almost jealous of it, Deej.
The best thing I've seen so far is the niceness from the European fans.
What a great event, what a great country, what a great state, what a great city. They did an amazing job.
I mean, every European I've talked to has been really cool and very amicable. So, when you come to the Ryder Cup, it's definitely heightened tensions and all that fun stuff. But it's always nice to, when you're rooting against somebody that everybody can kind of come together.
Yesterday we were by the 14th. We met a couple of local guys from Jersey, and we were with them for 2 or 3 hours in the end, just having sharing spaces, sharing drinks and food and everything. And it was all about banter yesterday. We shook hands at the end of it, had a hug, and that was it. That's what the Ryder Cup's all about, is making friends.
Of like, man, they've got a Rolodex, a chance. It's a communal experience. They waltzed into Strong Island, retained the Ryder Cup, and that feels like a where were you moment for every European fan on the property. As time goes by, I think some of the nasty stuff from the U.S. will fade, and that'll be my lasting memory. And I felt like I got a really good feel for that and what that sounds like on Sunday when Shane Lowry sunk that putt. All right, thank you for listening and coming on the journey with me. This podcast was edited and produced by Charlie Van Kirk, our sound engineer, audio expert, original music specialist, Big Cans author, and my wingman on this project. Also, a special thanks to Phil Brain for his help sifting through a mountain of audio over the last couple weeks. I want to give us a big shout out to everyone that spent time with us on and off mic during Ryder Cup week, including Sevi, Ben, Mr. Solly Solomon, and all of the U.S. and European fans for lending us their opinions in real time. I also want to shout out BMW. They're not only the official vehicle of No Laying Up and a worldwide partner of the 2025 Ryder Cup, but they went out of their way to help us cover this Ryder Cup from start to finish. They're our longest running sponsor, and we truly appreciate their support and investment in our content and in pro golf more broadly. And of course, shout out to Panther Mike.
Of course, always.
Thanks again for listening.